And welcome back, everyone, for the week 2 quarterback preview on FanDuel. We are here to preview the quarterback position. But before we start with that, I just want to say once again, FanDuel has another great contest to join in. So, as you typically hear me on this channel, especially for the last 2 years, I'm mostly a 20 to 25 max player. It depends on what they do with it. Going back and forth. They'll pick it up to $3 and they'll put it to like a $3.25 max, like they did week 1. But this time they're doing something special. Now it's a $4.20 max. So $80 to max the contest out. They're considering it a guaranteed overlay. Typically, it is a 39,000, maybe 37, 38,000 contest with a 10K to first prize. The contest this week is now a $4.20 max. Half the field can win. It's basically, you just got to finish in the top 50 to at least cash. So to at least cash is a 50 is at 50%, and they basically almost doubled what the normal attendance would be. 67,000 roughly. You could round up to maybe 68, but all you have to do is finish in the top 33,000 to cash. Typically, this contest is normally 39,000. So basically, almost the entire field on a regular Sunday for a regular 25 max will cash out this contest. I have already reserved it, especially with the bonus cash option that they had last week with the Millie. So I'm already set there. And then, of course, I'll do my $1, $2, and $5 single entries. But the 20 max is the contest to jump into. 50% of the field, they're thinking overlay might happen. So this is basically last year's $3 contest, $3.150, where half the field was guaranteed to cash in. So obviously, like last year, FanDuel for the first 7, maybe 8 weeks or first half of the season will be giving out these very profitable chances in these GPP contests, and then they'll probably just go back to regular GPPs of 25 to at max 31, 32, even 33% of the field cashing. So just give everybody the heads up on that. Wanted to just give you that quick bit of information. Last week, the $5 milli with the cash back was the best contest. I think FanDuel also has the best contest in the DFS industry for week 2. Half the field, $4.20 max. Let's get on with the preview. So this slate is definitely a whole lot different. Basically, all the big guns are on the slate. A few teams have, obviously, you have the Thursday night game. You also have a doubleheader on Monday this week, and then, of course, a Sunday night game. But all the big guns are back. So no need to really go in depth. These guys are without a doubt, because of the way their teams are and, just the way the game script benefits them. These guys are all matchup proof. The only good thing is with their wide receiver core, except for Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, none of them are 9,000. 2, with their wide receiver core, yes, they're expensive one-offs, but as a stack, they'll be pretty cheap. So Josh Allen, 88, Lamar's 85. They just came off probably game of the year already after week 1. As I said before, Jalen Hurts in a tough matchup. Kansas City struggling still offensively, but the defense is still solid. So Jalen Hurts is also an option. Now, this is the week you're going to hear me say this is the week for a lot of bounce back. Joe Burrow, 8,000, so he's slightly cheaper than what he was last week at home against Jacksonville. I think definitely him, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins are in definite mode for a bounce back. So there's a lot of people. There's quite a few people that I'm in the mood to hey, I just want to pick them because I know they're gonna do better than last time. Plus, Cincinnati being at home, I think it's just time for a bounce back. Joe Burrow is not gonna finish with an 8.81. Patrick Mahomes in a struggling offense, but as you can see here, nobody really, what's funny in fantasy? I mean, people may bring it up, but I don't think it's emphasized how much of a scrambler Mahomes is. I mean, if he doesn't, run as well as he did, Mahomes still gives you what? If he was in the week 1 slate, he's still at 18, 19. It's not bad for that week you didn't need him, but his legs are an upside, and there's quite a few quarterbacks this week that Passing game might struggle, but fantasy wise, they can get you through. Kyler Murray's in another nice solid matchup. He has Carolina at home. The defense did show up in a bit, but like I said, Arizona definitely better than what Jacksonville had to offer. So Murray at home, definitely a solid option against Carolina. We'll see as the year goes on, does their offense. The key is Murray's going to get a lot of chances, especially if that offense is still sputtering. Because the way that offense sputtered, there was a lot of 3-and-outs, or maybe they'll get a first down and then the drive would just die. Like they didn't really do anything until towards the end of the fourth quarter. They were stuck on 3 basically the whole game. So I definitely see Kyler Murray. I got to some Kyler Murray stocks. They just didn't blow up as much as I thought they would, against the Saints on the road. So them being at home against possibly what still looks like the worst defense in the league, definitely a solid option there. You don't have to stack Justin Fields. Once again, he just shows his talent. He can get you there just on his legs, but he definitely had a great game. He was basically the second best quarterback behind, performance wise to me, behind Daniel Jones. But Justin Fields on his own, you saw what Lamar did. So Justin Fields could definitely do the same thing against Buffalo. Run defense didn't seem too strong, so him and Breece Hall definitely look good. Week 2, I'm looking for definitely a bounce back because we all know this. Yes, the Lions have grown into a very good team and they're a competitor for the Super Bowl every year. But fantasy-wise, we know the splits are heavy. Road golf is definitely a whole lot different from Jared Goff at home. Even when the Lions actually lose, which affects their record, fantasy-wise, the numbers are way better at home. And going against, yes, it's another division rival game. They're getting their division games out the way early. But we all know golf at home is a whole lot better than golf on the road. So at 7,500, prices are pretty fair. Some people went up, some people went down. Once again, like I said, no quarterback is 89, 9,000 over. And the reason why also Allen and Lamar are not like, you would think after the game, Allen 91, 92, maybe even 93. Lamar 88.5. You think he'll be like 87 or right there 9,000? That's the thing when you know the system. This schedule was already put out while that game was going on. So they didn't wait. There was a time that they used to wait for all the games to finish and then they'll put them on. But nah, the last few years lately, they already have a program what they want to do. Plus, like I said, you have all these people that weren't on the main slate to gauge, their pricing or whatever. So, like I said, Allen, Lamar, Hurts, they were all on a single game, island games for week 1. So take the benefit there as you can as we keep going down. Hey man, the bad man still has something left, and now he's going to be at home against Seattle. Seattle did pretty decent, defensive wise. Like I said, it's supposed to be an improved defense, but like I said, it's still a defense that's, I guess, improving, but it's on the road. And Aaron Rodgers' home debut looked great against a formidable defense and pretty much shredded a formidable defense in the Jets. So I think Aaron Rodgers, with the weapons that he has, can definitely attack Seattle short and mid-range and secondary. If I keep going down, I do like these two. Now, let me bring up these two, and here's the thing. You have to put a little asterisk on it. Now, Daniel Jones had a great game. I was definitely on him. I'll definitely put a pat on my back on that one. But he's home again, which is great. But I think he's another version of Justin Fields. I think because of the defense that he's facing, I don't think he could get you a 30. But if he's struggling to pass the ball, and we already know, I already don't like going against the Broncos defense, Patrick Surtain is going to touch, or is going to pretty much cover Michael Pittman. So rule Michael Pittman out. So Daniel Jones is you're going to be looking for a stack with Warren and maybe Josh Downs and maybe Adonai Mitchell once you have the Patrick Surtain shutdown. But if the Broncos defense can put any pressure and force him to run, then yeah, his running upside can still get him in from the high teens. And when I say high teens, forget 17, 18. I think he still has a floor of like 18.5 to 19. And if he does what he did last week and gets the 2 touchdowns on the ground plus with his running, yeah, he can get you 25. I think they suppress the boom factor of Daniel Jones. But fantasy-wise, he definitely can still get you there just on his legs alone. just on that. And also, Bo Nix, I think he's also another candidate for a bounce back. But let me tell you something. If the offensive line doesn't protect him, and the two interceptions that Bo Nix had, they weren't bad interceptions. Like, oh, what did you see there? I watched that obviously mostly along with the San Francisco game in the 4 o'clock block, and the front four for Tennessee were in his face. And each the interceptions that he threw in that game, they were due to either being pressured, hit, and pretty much people in the face. So a lot of throws that made it downfield because he still had a strong arm, they were slightly off target. The pressure is what had Bo Nix on a sub day. Like Bo Nix was the way the offense was sputtering and getting pressured. Bo Nix, without the interceptions and maybe some drives happened, could have had a 15, 16, maybe 17. But if the front four for Indy, obviously we're going, two guys on the opposite end of each other, 7,200, 7,100. If the front four for Indy and some of those blitz schemes that they did to Tua, obviously Tua is more of a pocket mover, not very mobile. But if the same pressure happens and the offensive line does not assure their blocking assignments and there's no communication there, I think Bo Nix is in for a slow day. And he also might need to use his legs to improve on what you would normally think he could do with his arm. So it's an interesting concept with both these guys because forget like I said, not to put a big sample on one game, but from what you saw, both teams from the Indy defensive standpoint, the front four was all in Tua's face, and Tennessee's front four was all in Bo Nix's face. So ceiling and boom factor will definitely depend on these guys, both of these quarterbacks' athletic ability, and if their offensive lines can protect them, especially on the Bo Nix end. When it comes to getting down here and pay down options, I like Matthew Stafford. I really do. But that offensive line better protect him because that Tennessee front four is a problem. It is a serious problem. That was a great game that they played. And if they hit Matthew Stafford and he's supposed to be nursing his back injury all season, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. I do like Matthew Stafford, but that Tennessee front four is that good and it does worry me. So when it comes to the pay downs, we're going to keep going back. We're going to go down to pretty much, and it's kind of weird too because I just mentioned this guy and look at the prices that they are. So yes, he's rocking a toe issue, but Brock Purdy at 6,800. Now, it sucks that Kittle's not there, but I think even on the road at New Orleans, I think Brock Purdy can still put up another solid day. I think he can definitely with another week. McCaffrey, you can still stack him, McCaffrey, Pearsall. I think he's still in the range for like a 18-point something score. If he doesn't if he gets rid of a couple of interceptions that he did against Seahawks, and maybe throws 1 to none, and one of those drives don't end early, Brock Purdy could definitely rock you into the mid-20s this week. And when it comes to the king of bounce back, oh, by the way, Drake May is definitely an option because I do like Drake May. I think he's going to improve this year. What worries me is it's Miami at home. Like we already know, like how the lines are home and away. Like it's an even bigger split of how they perform from home and away. And then like I said, the home field, the heat, the sun. Drake May could be in for some trouble, but he could build on his solid week 1 performance. But yeah, the guy that I'm looking forward to, without a doubt, it's Tua, 67. They all pretty much shat the bed. I think those are you're looking for cheap stacks, cheap single and cheap double stacks with Waddle and Hill. Tua at 6,700 now. I definitely like that. Like I said, him at home, big bounce back opportunity. I really think and like I said, I mean, if the offensive line doesn't protect them, then hey, it's another bust. And there's already talks about when they're going to get rid of Tyreek Hill. So a little bit of turmoil, but we're here to talk fantasy. Fantasy-wise, we know Tua can put up numbers with his two main guys and Achane coming up the backfield. So I'm definitely going to have some of Tua again. It hurt me last week, but they're at home. They're at home and not that much of a formidable defense, but, they should be able to put up a fight. But like I said, they love being in that heat because by the time the second half comes around, teams just wear down. That's when the big plays just happen. So Tua and Purdy. My favorite pay down, 67-68. And after that, I think the better plays, obviously you have to watch out for Bo Nix and Daniel Jones playing on opposite ends on each other. They're wild cards to me. And I think your top plays are pretty much everything from 74 and up. I think quarterback is very deep at choice. Plus, like I said, the big guns are back on the main slate. So a lot of choices to make. But like I said, all these big guns here, my favorite paydowns are the two quarterbacks under 7,000, 68 Purdy, 67 Tua. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the quarterback preview. Like I said, the beginning of the video was letting you know what was the best contest on FanDuel to play. It is the overlay 20 max. 50% of the field will get paid out. Pretty much other than that, I was ready to start a running back video a little bit after. But with the George Kittle news, I'm jumping right to the tight ends. And then I'll get to the running back features after that. So tight end video for week 2 next. Good luck in week 2. This is your boy, Grade A Fantasy, signing off.